Welcome to the NFL Saturday Podcast. This is Amp.
And I'm Scotty.
And we're here to catch you up on fantasy football for the week, and we'll
have some fun along the way. That's it, really?
That's it, yep. We're having a debate about what the intro is, because Scotty forgot what my line was, because he was MIA last week, so for good reason, but still.
Dang, I can't. 1 week and I forgot it.
Yeah, 1 week and you forgot it. Today, we're going to review the standings in the league and go over some fantasy takeaways while we talk about each division. But before we get into the episode and talk about that, are you ready for your fun fact of the day, Scotty?
I was born for fun facts.
The Dolphins tied for the second most points scored in NFL history. They beat the Broncos 70-20. So, second most points in NFL history. And it's the most points scored since 1966.
That is 7 years? That's
yes.
A wild number.
And Washington scored 72 points versus the Giants. But the Dolphins could have broken the record because they were in field goal kicking range on fourth down. And instead of kicking a field goal on fourth down with 33 seconds left, they took a knee and turned the ball over. They just turned the ball over. They didn't even want to risk kicking a field goal. And I think that's crazy. They would have broken the NFL record, and it was just a kick. They didn't have to go down the field and score. They could have just literally kicked it. I think it's crazy. I would have done it. It's a record, you got to go for the record. I feel like it's a disservice to not go for it.
I'm going to tell you why I disagree with their decision.
Okay,
tell me. McDaniel said afterwards that it was a sign of respect to not break the record when the game was already over. And you know what I said to myself? I was like, dude, you already put up 70 points. This game was disrespectful in the second quarter. Kick the field goal and drive off into the sunset with the record. Yeah. What are you talking about? Why not?
It's crazy. I mean, it's also there's a lot of things too. I remember, I think Sean Payton talked trash about Tua and McDaniels at some point or something. So I think there was a lot of I think there was
animosity.
Lot of stuff. Animosity, yeah, that's the word. Animosity that they were letting out, and I cannot believe they freaking didn't kick the field goal. I think that's insane. At least go for it. You got to try it. Maybe let your backup kicker. Maybe let a wide receiver try to kick it or something. That would be the ultimate disrespect. To break the record, have Ocho Cinco come out, kick a field goal.
No, I did read that McDaniels wanted to go for the field goal, and Tua and Tyreek, acting as captains, actually went over to the sidelines and said, "You know what? Let's just knee it and go home."
Oh, boo.
There's conflicting stories as to who wanted the record, who didn't want the record, and what the reason was. But it's safe to say that the whole didn't want to disrespect them reason is doo-doo. That's a fake reason. 70 points is already disrespectful.
They scored 56 points, and they threw a freaking Hail Mary to Robbie Anderson.
Right. Oh, yeah. When I saw his name, I was like, who the hell is this guy? and then I pulled up his bio, and I was like, oh, yeah, Robbie Anderson changed his name. And I don't know why, but yeah, okay.
But the other thing I wanted to mention is, so our league doesn't have a defense, but if you started only Dolphins players in our league, you would have scored 189 points. So 189.76 points.
Which is an unbelievable number.
Yeah. I was over 200 with the defense because our extra flex spot didn't make up the difference because it was fun. It's all very top heavy. 160 points of the 189 are just four players. So
who was that? Tua, Tyreek, and the running backs, Mostert and Achen.
Yeah. No. Oh wait, you said it right. Yeah.
Were you expecting me to say it wrong? And
I thought you were going to say A-Chain.
Come on, I read the same article you did, brother. He had a big game, and he was like,
that too.
No, he had a big game, and he's like, you know what? I've been hearing people pronounce my name A-Chain. That ain't it, dog. It's A-Chain.
It's crazy though that it took so because he's not. It's not like he was like some unknown draft pick.
He was like good in college
drafted,
and everything.
And he got how is this just coming? This always happens. I don't get it.
It is right though. You put up over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. You have a right to have your name pronounced correctly. Like
yeah, definitely
100%. Good for him.
It's pretty simple too. It's for me. I just think 4chan. And it's A-Chan. There we go. Pretty simple.
Yeah. Was never a big 4chan guy, but I can't. I know what it is. I don't think I've never even visited that website.
I don't think I have either, actually.
I know what it is. It's like, was it like a Reddit thing?
It's like Reddit thing. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It was like before Reddit, I think. But
I don't even use Reddit. I'm old.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to go over the points real quick because Tua got 31 points. Yeah. Pretty crazy. Tua 31, Mostert 45 in our league, which is full PPR. A-Chan 51, Hill 33, Chosen 13, and then Smythe got 2.5 as a tight end. Barrios 5.3 in the flex, and then Chris Brooks, the third running back, got 6.6. So
I do have to point out, if you said Robbie Chosen got 13 points. That means he only caught that one pass.
He did.
He only caught that. He only caught that one Hail Mary for what, 58 yards, 68 yards and a touchdown, whatever.
Yeah, I guess it would have been
58, right?
What? Was it 68?
It has to be 68. 68 plus 1 for the catch is 7 plus 6 for the yes. So he caught one pass on the entire.
Why are they throwing a 68-yard pass though?
At that point, the game was surely over.
Yeah, crazy.
I lost in my secondary Yahoo league by 16 points with A-Chan on the bench. But I could have never known. I had Breece Hall and Christian McCaffrey, and I could never have known that was going to happen.
Yeah. A-Chan is like the most benched player last week that everyone is frustrated they benched, but no one, literally no one would have started them. I don't
think so. He hadn't shown anything yet.
Mostert is probably more frustrating because there are some people that probably did not play Mostert, but I think a lot of people did play him. So definitely a crazy game. I would say the craziest game ever, for fantasy at least. I don't think there's been a crazier game ever. I mean, we said they could have scored the most points in NFL history, and 70 points since 1966. I mean, that's a whole different era of the NFL. Like they might not have been playing defense. So I would say this is like the most points scored essentially.
I think they set a fantasy football kicker record as well.
Oh wow.
I'm just making this up. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think a kicker has ever surpassed the 10+ mark without a field goal.
Definitely can't.
It couldn't have ever happened.
Yeah. So funny. That's pretty.
The kicker beat his average without scoring any field goals.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can get into the episode. So now it's time for your
Mr. Unlimited
moment of the week.
Let's hear it.
You know, this has to only go to one person. If you watch the games on Sunday, there's only one person this can go to, and that's Josh McDaniels, who had the Raiders kick a field goal when they were down by 8 in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in the game.
In the red zone, correct?
On the 8-yard line. Fourth and 4. It was 4th and 4. They still could have got a first down. They didn't even need a touchdown. And they kicked a field goal. Down by 8. So they still need a touchdown. It's not like they only need a field goal. They need a touchdown still. They need to go for 2. But that's literally all it's saving. It's only saving the 2-point conversion. So I think this may be the stupidest decision I've seen in a while. Yeah, didn't make any sense. And now I'm worried he's going to get fired before Matt Eberflus, who I put a bet on, Matt Eberflus, to get fired first. So
Maybe he's an old school guy, and somebody came over to him, and they were like, the analytics say that we got to go for this, and he said, "Screw the analytics, send out the kicking team."
it's funny because it's like I don't even know.
0%.
Yeah, it's
You can never
so
kick
bad.
a field goal there.
It doesn't make any sense. Like I could not find how many timeouts they had left, but it was baffling. Even with 3 timeouts, which I don't even know if they had 3 timeouts, even with 3 timeouts, it's still a bad decision. So, yeah, very dumb decision. And, yeah, I'm worried. The odds for the first coach getting fired, McDaniels is now at plus 150.
Oh, my goodness. As soon as he made that call, he boosted up the odds.
Yeah, but Matt Eberflus is only plus 175. Plus 175 now.
That's a wrap. As soon as the Bears lose to the Broncos this week, he's done.
I'm hoping so.
If you lose to a team that just gave up 70 points, you don't deserve control of that team anymore.
Hey, I was way ahead of the game too.
You got it like plus 1,500 or something.
Yeah,
1,200.
1,200, I think. Yeah.
Sheesh.
But I'm excited. I could hedge, but I don't think it's worth it. I know Ron Rivera is like plus 300, and he's the only other one that's close. So I think
he'll get some sympathy because of the quarterback getting hurt, right? So.
Oh, Sam Howell? Sam Howell's not hurt.
Who you said, Ron Rivera?
Yeah, Ron Rivera, coach of the Washington Commanders.
Interesting. You're probably right. I think I just had like a 6-year flashback to when he was on the Carolina Panthers.
That is so funny.
How long ago was that?
I don't know, because I know that's my main issue is just that Ron Rivera was the coach of the Commanders last year too. So like, there's a chance that he gets fired. But I mean, they're 2-1. Like, I don't think they're going to get fired with 2 wins already. And
that reminds me of my bet with my brother for teams that'll finish last place. Yeah. And my teams are a combined 1-8, and his teams are a combined 6-3, and 2 of his teams are winning the division currently.
Oh my gosh!
I'm currently sweeping $10 per team, $50 for a sweep.
Funny.
I know it's only week 3, but I'm excited.
It's looking good. I know some of the teams we'll be talking about later, so it'll be fun to go over the divisions. We can talk a ton more about that. But I guess before we do that, it's time for talking about our league. Time to talk about our league, and it was an interesting week. I guess we can go over mine first to start on a downer, because I lost to Jay Moochie.
Me too.
Back to weeks. We both lost to Jay Moochie, the team that we both gave a C-.
That is true.
Yeah. I lost 111.38 to 140.98. And I'm shook. I could not believe it. He had Damian Harris in his starting lineup, and I lost. He started Damian Harris. And
he just knew.
He knew. Well, Damian Harris got like 3 points. So, but the rest of his team just killed me. Kenneth Walker really carried him. And I mean, my team didn't do terrible. This is my worst week so far. But I went into Monday night and I needed 67 points from Jalen Hurts, Kyren Williams, and Chris Godwin. And Hurts did okay, not great. But then Kyren Williams and Godwin did below projected. So, yeah, I just lost. And I lost by 29 points. And it was a brutal week, because now I have scored 379.8 points, which is the second most in the league, averaging like 127, I think. I don't know. I don't know if I did the math. Maybe
you're 1 and 2. It's brutal.
But I'm 1 and 2. And I have the second most points in the league, obviously, but I have given up 388 points against, which is the most in the league.
I'm right there with you at 358. I'm super close.
Yeah. But you're like the third highest. Like I've given up 40 more points than you. Imagine that.
Right. Bad math there, buddy. Well, let's call it 30.
Well, yeah, 38, I guess. But
No, you said
you
388 and I said 358.
oh, you said 358? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was you. It was me, and then
Alpha Kappa has
Alpha Kappa
378.
and then I thought
And then
you
I'm
had
at
like
358.
40 below me.
No,
Oh,
358. Okay. And another person has 357. Like, maybe you were looking at a.
Well, maybe I was looking. Maybe I was
Is
being
this-
a little negative Nancy, but
No, it's possible that I'm looking at a list
no,
that.
I think you're looking at it right.
But is it
I was just being
updated? Like, if people already scored this week, is it already updated? Is that possible?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That would be weird.
Because yours is still
Updated,
388 and you gave up points.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
I
It's
think
not
it's
accurate.
not
Okay, it doesn't update.
So yeah, I must have been a negative Nancy, and but yeah, 30 more points essentially.
That is
which
tough.
Pretty crazy. And
Yeah, it's
I
like
guess
what
it
my
was more
brother.
last week. Last week was the brutal
Yeah.
one where I scored 140 and lost.
That's very hard to do.
Yeah.
Scoring 140 in our format that's above average for sure. The average usually was like 115, 120. That's probably even a little high. It's probably like closer to 105.
Yeah.
So 140, you should be sailing off into the sunset, counting the win. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. But we can end it on a positive note because you beat
Finally
Hail to the
won!
Whatever. You won 133.06 to 119.8. And yeah, you
I think
won.
that was his first loss, right? He was an
That was his-
undefeated team.
Yeah, it was. He beat me
know.
last week, so
I know that. I felt bad for him on that one, or he felt bad about that one.
yeah. But now you're tied with the other 6 teams. So yes, there are 7 teams that are 1 and 2. There are no 0 and 3 teams.
Where
So,
do
yeah,
I
you're tied
rank
with
out
me.
of? Ooh, no, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, no.
Well,
I am
point-wise, no.
I am the third place 1 and 2 team.
Yeah, but still, that means that you're right there, and I'm 1 loss away from being in last place.
I think we all are, and I'm slated to lose this week actually because I saw that Aaron Jones was gonna play.
Oh,
and
yeah, you started him. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'll just plug him in last second and see what happens. And he got 2 points. Yay!
Brutal start.
Yay.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. You did have Mike Williams go off last week, but unfortunately, he is now.
He won't be
out
doing
for
that
the season.
again.
Yep. But going into Monday, it was really close because you had Mixon and Brown, AJ Brown, versus Swift, and Swift went off, but Brown went crazy. He went in ham FM radio. He went ham. And yeah, Mixon and Brown carried you. And I guess Mixon didn't really he just did it okay. He did all right. But Brown really carried you. And yeah, you ended up winning. I'm definitely worried about your depth because you have had some injuries, but a win is a win.
It was
So
already
we'll
bad, and now it's even worse.
yeah, we'll take it. A win is a win. But now I can go over the top 6 teams. So in first place is Moof's Mafia, who is now 3-0, which I ranked them an A- before the season, but yeah, definitely impressive. They weren't my top team, so definitely impressive. Second place, Hail to the Whatever at 2-1. Third place, Totally Offensive with 2-1. Fourth place, Jay Mucci at 2-1.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. And then Rick the Original OG in 5th at 2-1. So both of those are a surprise. They were both among our lower rated teams. So we'll see what happens. I think we did also rate Hail to the Whatever lower, right? Because of the bench. But we'll see. As the season goes on, I do think depth matters. So right now is not indicative to the end of the season. And since we have 7 1 and 2 teams. Oh, I didn't even say I'm in 6th place at 1 and 2. So yeah, I barely made it into the playoffs right now. So I'll take it. But yeah, since we have 7 1 and 2 teams, it's really up in the air. Like anyone can come
wide
back.
open. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, you're in 8th place right now. That's crazy. You were like in the depths. You were in the dumps. You were.
I was
freaking
0-2 and
depressed as hell. Yeah,
not
you're
even
like, I don't have
scoring
a
points.
chance. Yeah, but now you're in 8th place, and you're only 2 spots out of the playoffs. So, yeah,
Let's do
I'm
it.
excited. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this next week. I'm playing Totally Offensive, so that'll be fun. My mom, Totally Offensive, is my mom, so we'll see what happens. But I got to go over some awards for last week, and the first one is the surprise of the week, which is the team that performed above projection the most, and that goes to Moose Mafia, who scored the most points in the league with 162.92 points, which was 52 points above projection. And if you had to guess one of their players without looking, who would you guess they had that had a good week last week?
Tua.
They did not have Tua, but they had Raheem Mostert.
Okay.
They had Raheem Mostert. They also had Justin Jefferson, who had 30
Nice.
points. And then
Leading
Sam
the league in
Laporta.
reception yards.
Yeah, leading the league.
Ooh.
And then Sam Laporta, who was the surprise of the week for me. That was, I don't know. I actually talked about him last week and said I don't think he'll continue his ways of just being a solid tight end just because he's a rookie. And then he puts up like 20-something points. So proved me wrong. The next award, though, goes to the teams that let down the owner the most. So it's the team that performed below projection by the most points, and that goes to K Money's Moneymakers. Scored the lowest points in the league with 89.36 points, which was 24.3 points below projection. They had Fields, CeeDee Lamb, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Algier. Just not great weeks. It wasn't a horrendous week compared to some of the other weeks. It was only 89 points that's all right. It was just a couple players performed below, and there's so many players that were studs. They didn't have any studs essentially. So that was the main issue.
Damn,
but-
he lost by 74 points.
Yes, that was.
Basically.
I'll go into that now because the biggest blowout goes to Moose Mafia, who beat K Moneymaker, 162.92 points to 89.36 points.
Woof.
So yeah, pretty brutal. 73 points, pretty crazy. And Moose Mafia got the narrowest margin wins 2 weeks in a row. I thought it was definitely a little bit lucky that they were 2-0 and not 1-1 because they did have 2 very tight victories. But now they get the biggest blowout and they destroy K Money. And it's funny because they had the most points and K Money had the least points. So it's literally like you can't get a bigger blowout than this. So pretty funny. But the interesting matchup, I don't know if you were paying attention to this, but the closest match was the Clickable Ideas beat Alpha Kappa Olave 126.92 to 124.7. So this was a very close game, and Alpha Kappa Olave lost the closest matchup 2 weeks in a row. That's brutal. That's pretty brutal. And they have the 3rd most points in the league, and they're 1-2 now. So they're right behind me. They're in 7th place.
3rd most points in the league, and they're 1-2.
Yeah, and they have the second most points given up, right behind me as well. So
brutal.
Yeah, pretty brutal. But yeah, I think that's pretty brutal. And especially on Monday, Clickable Ideas had Tyler Higbee, and Alpha Kappa Olave had Devontae Smith. And Tyler Higbee scored 12 points, and Devontae Smith only got 6.8.
Hey, his number is 6. That's cool.
Yeah. That is cool. However, it was pretty brutal for him because if Devontae Smith just had like one more 20-yard catch, he would have won. Well, I guess 20.2 or something, 20.3, so 23 yards. If it was a 23-yard catch, he would have won. That's it. Or if Higbee just did not get a couple more catches. I mean, come on now. It was a brutal brutal loss. I'll just say that.
100%.
And especially because that was Clickable Ideas' first win. So good for them. That's my coworker. Hopefully he starts paying attention to his lineup, though. Gonna just put him on blast publicly. Anything else you wanted to mention about our league before we go into the main topic?
Ooh, not this league. But what if I shared with you an interesting perspective about our other league?
Ooh, okay. Go ahead. Do it.
All right. Now, without you pulling it up, I want you to answer a question.
Okay.
Through 3 weeks, if a fantasy football team landed 6th on the list of points scored, what might you guess their record or placement on the standings could be?
6th. I would say they could be. I mean, they could be anywhere. If they're 6th, they could be first. They could be last.
Give me a guess.
I would say because our league is like we had the median score, they would probably be like, I don't know, around. I would say around 6th. So I'll just guess 4th.
All right. Now, what if I told you that same team had the least points scored against them? Then what do you think their record would be?
I would say 2nd, probably.
All right. Now, what if I told you that same team scored under 150 twice?
Well, then I would say that they're probably 4th.
That's my brother's team. He's freaking 5-1.
He's 5-1. Oh my
What
god!
a luck! What a lucky!
How did he get above median projection with less than 150? Which was that bad? What the heck?
Because week 1 the median was 145, and week 3, or this week it was what? Oh, because week 2 when he got above 150, he got 180, and the median was 171 that week.
Oh, okay.
So he's
2nd.
He's sitting here bragging about how good his team is, and I'm like, if you actually look at the numbers, you're just getting super lucky.
Yeah, really.
Every time he scores low, the whole league scores low. It brings down the median score, and he's able to squeak by. It'll catch up to him. Like, it can't hold up.
Now, if I told you there was a team that scored 100 points 2 out of 3 weeks.
Okay.
How many points would you guess they scored in the other week?
Probably like 231.
Dang, good guess. Good guess, because that's my team. Who
226.
100 points, 2 of 3 weeks, and then randomly 1 week got 230 points. So
that is a funny little jump in production there.
Yeah.
And then flash ahead to this week, and what's your projection? 148.
148. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Bang average. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. It was funny though, because the one time I won was against your dad. And he's 0-6. He somehow did not get the median projection that week. I totally thought he would, but he got like 160 or something. That
was the week it was like 171.
Yeah, the brutal week. But yeah, I guess we can get into the main topic now, the NFL standings.
Ooh, let's do it.
Are you excited to? Because I'm excited to go over these.
There's a couple teams that I'll enjoy talking about.
Yeah. So I guess we can start off in the AFC East. So I'm just going to go over the whole division, and we'll kind of talk about the division as a whole, projections on how they're going to perform rest of the year. So in first place, the Dolphins are 3-0. In second place, the Bills are 2-1. In third place, the Patriots are 1-2. And in fourth place, the Jets are 1-2. So projections for the rest of the year. I guess, do you think the Dolphins will win the division, or do you think it will be the Bills or someone else?
All right. Realistically,
yeah,
the Dolphins sort of look unstoppable. I haven't used that word since we talked about, you know who last year when they were 13-0, and
Yeah.
as soon as I said it, they did not win the next game. Which I don't know if I said it or just thought it, so we got to be careful. But I think, let me look at the Dolphins' remaining schedule.
Well, we get to find out this week because they play the Bills this week. So
Bills, Giants, Panthers, Eagles, Patriots, Chiefs, Raiders. Okay, they're gonna finish like 12-5.
Yeah.
Maybe even better than that. Let's go 13-4.
Okay.
I say they split with the Bills. They'll lose to the Eagles, lose to the Chiefs, and they'll drop one other game that they shouldn't. Maybe like the Cowboys or one of the games versus the Jets somehow, whatever. Like towards the end of the season when stuff already feels like solidified, like playoff positions and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give them 13-4, and I will say that they win the division, even though I have a rooting interest against that. I got to be realistic. The Bills appear to have a much harder schedule. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, the Bills have a harder schedule. The Bills probably finish like 10-7, 11-6, and they can't win the division with that. So that's what I got. Dolphins maintain their unstoppable form. Tua stays healthy, no more concussions. Jalen Waddle comes back and gives an even bigger boost to an already high-octane offense, and the Dolphins will lose very few games.
Awesome. Well, I disagree with you. I think the Bills end up winning the division, and I flip-flopped. I said I don't like the Bills. Yeah, but I think they look better. I think they actually look better last week. I know matchups haven't been super tough, but I do think that they're going to be all right. I don't think they're a great team. I do not think they will make a deep playoff run. I think they're just solid, and I do think the Dolphins are like a stomping bad teams type of team. Like, they have a ton of speed, and they're really good. Tua still is struggling to throw the ball like downfield accurately, I would say.
Okay.
But I think he's still like one of, if not the most accurate passers in medium and short range. So I still think they're going to be good, but I think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they have a better chance to do really good than the Bills, but I do think the Bills are just going to somehow find a way to win the division. And yeah, we'll see what happens, but I hope it's the Dolphins because I do not like the Bills. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of the Bills, and I'm a fan of the Dolphins. I really like to see Tua on the comeback. And it's funny because I almost bet that he would get comeback player of the year. But at the same time, it might not have been a good bet because I don't know if they would have given it to him. Like, I don't know if they want to draw more attention to the concussions. So.
Oh, yeah, because that's what he's coming back from. That's valid.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If the Dolphins put up 30-plus points and win by 2 scores, will you revisit this conversation? If they do that versus the Bills this weekend?
Yeah. I think there's a chance that happens too. And
that would have to change your mind.
Yeah. I would say, like, I still think there's a good chance that I'm wrong. I do think there's also a chance, though, that even if the Bills do win, they like taper off near the end of the year. Or sorry, if the Dolphins win. But I do like the Dolphins. I'm hoping they win. I'm rooting for them. So I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that they do win, and I hope they destroy. Now, I guess we can quickly talk about the Jets and the Patriots. Patriots obviously don't look great, but the Jets,
look even worse.
Yes, but Trevor Siemian is going to come in and save them. He is their savior, Trevor Siemian. He is going to come in and save the day, save the Garrett Wilson owners in fantasy, and they're going to be the same, aren't they? It's just another scrub quarterback. So, yeah, I'm not excited.
I mean, definitely nothing to get you excited about, but
yeah,
Zach Wilson's got to go, man.
Yeah,
he's had enough chances. It was his team for like 2 seasons. He got to learn a little bit from Aaron Rodgers this offseason. It still just looks like total college, high school level, like has no business playing amongst men. I say let's get him out of there.
I agree. It's sad, but I agree. All right, well, I guess we can kind of move on. I don't think we need to talk about them too much.
We don't need to roast the Jets for too long.
Yeah.
Although if you go back a couple weeks, maybe a month to when we recorded right before the season started,
yeah,
the contrast between the conversation about the Jets now and the conversation about the Jets then is crazy, because we were talking about they could potentially win. I never wanted to believe that they would be able to do it, but
I think I did end up picking the Bills though to win, even though.
I always had the Bills to win the division.
Yeah, it just always is inevitable. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm more curious about the Dolphins and Bills this week. That's what I'm really looking forward to. But we have another exciting, very, very close division, and that is the AFC West, the super close AFC West, where the Chiefs are 2-1 in first.
Okay.
Raiders are 1-2 in second. Chargers 1-2 in third, and Broncos 0-3 in fourth. And look, you were right about the Jets in it for different reasons.
Yeah, by accident.
But I may have been right about the Broncos.
I think that I flip flop, because I told you that I heard enough hype about Russ that seemed like he had turned it around a little bit, the Sean Payton show. But it turns out
went through this last year, I understand why you fell for the hype, and I'm going through all the
stages of grief.
Yep. So
God damn, Broncos suck, man.
You did it this year. They suck.
We've given up 122 points in 3 games. What?
Yeah, I mean that is a little lopsided because of the last game. But
it's not a skewed sample. They gave up an average of 40 points a game. Let's not look more at it.
Yeah, it's been pretty brutal to watch. Yeah, I mean, I think Russell Wilson will have some fine games. I don't think he's terrible for fantasy. I mean, he's already had some fine games the last 3 weeks, so he's not terrible. Fine for fantasy, but for real football, I'm definitely worried about him. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to win the division. There's no real contender. The Raiders look terrible. The Chargers, I mean, I don't know they just cannot win. They finally won, but they just don't win games. And I just think they're going to collapse. They always do. This is the Chiefs division. I don't see any way the Chiefs don't win this division. I don't know if you agree with me, but yeah, I don't see a way the Chiefs don't win.
From what we've seen so far, the Raiders look absolutely terrible. The Broncos look terrible. The Raiders' only win is versus the Broncos in an ugly, low-scoring game. And the Chargers are just going to continue to do Charger things.
The Chiefs' only loss is to the 3-1 Lions. So, I mean,
it's a valid point. Last year, I think there was some crazy stat where the Broncos' defense was so good, they were averaging 18 points against, which meant Russell Wilson only had to average 19 points for, and they win a stunning amount of games. It was something like their record increases by 5 wins if they just scored 20 or more points in those games.
Well, it's not like that anymore.
It's not like that now. They've scored, they're averaging over 20 points a game currently. They lost a game with 33 points to somebody who scored 35. The Commanders, right? They lost to the Commanders 35-33. So, I mean, they're at least a little bit more efficient on offense now, and the defense is what's letting them down.
Yeah, they could have scored 69 points every week, and they'd still only be 2-1. So
that's a weird way to say it.
Yeah, I don't know how useful me saying that is.
It's funny. That's all.
Yeah, I don't really feel like talking about the division anymore. But if anything else you want to say,
who do you think wins more games out of the Broncos or the Raiders by the time the season is over, based on what we've seen so far. And the Raiders have a head start because they already have one win.
Yeah, I would say probably the Raiders, just because they always win these weird games, and they're gonna find a way to win some. Like, I think they could win against the Chargers this week. I think they always win these weird games. And the Broncos just always seem to lose. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to say, but I think the Raiders. It's probably the wrong thing to say. The Broncos do look a little better on offense and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Hard to say.
I agree. Now, I think the AFC South is the most wild standings so far.
Yeah, let's go right into that.
I think it's almost a direct flip-flop from last season, where the Jaguars and Titans went into Week 18 playing each other to win the division and go to the playoffs, and now they're both sitting at 1-2 at the bottom of the division.
Yeah, I will say the Texans are also 1-2. So the rankings currently right now: the Colts are 2-1, Texans 1-2 in second, Jaguars 1-2 in third, and then Titans 1-2 in fourth. And yeah, sure, technically the Titans and Jaguars are at the bottom, but I would say I think the Texans are worse. I know
absolutely.
CJ Stroud does look really good, though. He's throwing a ton. They just beat the Jaguars, so that's why they're ahead. But I do think the Jaguars are bounced back. They've had, besides the Texans, a pretty rough schedule, I would say. So yeah, I think that the Jaguars will pull ahead, but it is interesting if the Colts do manage to hold the division with a rookie quarterback. That would be pretty cool, especially Anthony Richardson. That would be exciting.
If he can stay healthy.
I mean, they did win last week with Gardner Minshew, so.
I know they didn't. They absolutely did not. I will not stand for this blasphemy. I don't know what the name of their kicker is, but that's who they won with.
Fair.
5 field goals and 4 of them were 50 plus, which has never been done. No kicker has ever had 4 50 pluses in the same game. I will not stand for this Minshew mania nonsense.
How many points was that in our league? That was
I'm looking right now.
That would have been like 40 points probably.
each 50 yarder is 8 points, so that's already 32. Plus the other one was maybe like a 40 yard. Let's call it 37. Plus they had a touchdown. I'm going to say 38 before I look.
Yeah. Okay.
And the answer is 37.
Dang, nice.
I was wrong. The fifth field goal he kicked was not a 40 yarder worth 5 points.
Okay.
It was a 30 to 39 yarder, which I assume is worth 4 points.
I think it's 3. I think
that doesn't add up.
Right? I don't know. Maybe
did he have
I forget.
32, 33. It has to be worth 4. Extra points are just worth 1, right?
Yeah, I honestly don't even know our kicking stats because I think kicking.
I know that 50 pluses are. I know that 50 plus is worth
8, right?
8, and he had 4. That's 32.
And then
plus the extra point is 33.
5. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, based on that, it has to be worth 4, but it has to be worth 4 based on what his score is, but that's wrong. It's supposed to be worth 3.
And this is why I do not like kickers in fantasy football.
Hey, my dad did change it. Yahoo default value 3, field goals 30 to 39 yards. League value 4.
Okay. Interesting.
Which has never been that way. That's new this year.
Oh, weird.
It's always been 3 up until 40 is 5 and 50 is 8 in our league. That's how we've always done it.
Now it's changed. Interesting. Yeah. I wonder why.
I wonder who my dad drafted as a kicker. He was like, I'm going to change this stat and then I'm going to value Justin Tucker.
This one kicker specifically will get more. But yeah, this division, I know that I said preseason that the Titans would win the division, and they look terrible now. They look so bad. But I still think there's a chance that the Titans win the division. And the Jaguars don't look great right now. I think at the end of the day, it will probably be between the Jaguars and Titans. I think the Colts don't really realistically have a chance to win. I know that they look good, and I mean Anthony Richardson looks good, but as a rookie QB, I just think there's going to be a little too many mistakes, and I think going forward, the future is like so bright, and he's obviously the QB of the future for the team. But this year specifically, I think they are going to not do as great down the stretch, and I think they're going to win or lose a couple games that they shouldn't lose, and I think the Jaguars or the Titans will sneak back in and win the division. Thoughts?
I agree about the Jaguars. I disagree about the Titans. I don't like anything I've seen from them so far. Fun fact, and I texted this to you, but I will repeat it here because it is so funny. The Miami Dolphins had more yards of offense in their one game versus Denver than the Tennessee Titans did combined for in all of their first 3 games.
Yep, that checks out.
So, needless to say, I'm not very excited about that. Also, fun side note, I just made that joke about my dad making that field goal point change because I was like, oh, he'll make that change and then draft Tucker. I didn't know that he actually had Tucker. I went and checked his team. He has Tucker.
He does have Tucker?
He does actually have Justin Tucker.
Interesting.
Who is the reason that the Ravens lost to the Colts? Because he missed a 61-yarder as time expired, which is very unlike him.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm not too excited to see how that division plays out. I am excited for Anthony Richardson, but yeah, I'm not super excited for. It's going to be I think that will be the division that has a team below 500.
Well, maybe like an 8 and 9, maybe like right there.
Yeah.
I am excited for the Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, Travis Etienne. Like I do.
Ridley has been terrible since week 1, though.
I understand. I'm saying I'm excited to watch that progress and see where it goes because I don't know. I'm just a big fan of like the little comeback story for Ridley because his offense for getting suspended wasn't that bad. Young guys, I want to see it pan out. I don't like everyone was so hyped on Trevor Lawrence. I don't want him to come in and have like a total dud that everyone like turns their backs on him. You see that too much, so we'll root for him one time. And I'm totally neutral to that division. Don't technically care.
Also, got to root for Dougie P.
Nah,
anyone
that's up
that
to you.
The Super Bowl, got to root for him.
I'm still giving Nick Foles all the credit for that.
Fair. But I guess we can move to the last AFC division, and that's the AFC North.
Womp, womp, womp.
This is proof that not all 2-1 teams are the same. Because right now in first place, the Steelers are 2-1. In second place, the Ravens are 2-1. Third place, the Browns are 2-1. And in fourth place, the Bengals are 1-2. So obviously this week the Ravens and Browns play. And are you excited for that game?
No.
No.
I am not excited to lose to Deshaun Handjob.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean,
he could bleep it.
He doesn't. I hope he doesn't play, and I hope Dorian Thompson-Robinson plays, and I can root for him. But what I'm hoping will happen is DTR plays. He does really well. The Jets trade for him and give like a first-round pick or something crazy. But he does so well this week that they have to trade for him. And then
I thought it'd be funnier if the Jets traded for Kyler Murray or Justin Fields.
That would be funny. But essentially, the reason I say that is because I don't know. In Hard Knocks, Aaron Rodgers was cheering for DTR in the preseason because he was another Pac-12 quarterback. So he was rooting for him. It was funny to see. He like came up to Aaron Rodgers, went up to him before the game, and he was like, "Hey, good luck tonight, man. Like, I wish you the best. You're great. Something, blah, blah, blah. Keep doing good." And, it would be a good person to train under him, Certainly better than Zach Wilson.
100%.
But I don't think that will happen. That's my one hope, though. But, yeah, I think the Browns look like the best team in the division. And then Ravens look like the second best. Bengals look like the third best. Steelers look like the worst, even though they're 2-1.
And that's like the complete opposite of the standings.
Yes, it is insane. It's like, what the heck is going on? I mean, I could see the Bengals coming back and winning the division, but right now, I think the Browns are the front runner. And Deshaun Watson, he's the best quarterback in the league in the pocket with no pressure. But he is so bad with pressure. He just looks terrible with pressure. So yeah, in the playoffs, that's where teams see that. When they make the playoffs, they're going to get destroyed, in my opinion. So I'm not excited for them. I'm more excited for the Bengals in the playoffs or the Ravens. And I hope one of them wins. I mean, I would love to see the Ravens destroy the Browns this week. That would be so fun to watch, but I just don't see it happening. The Browns' defense is too good. So
I don't have high hopes.
yeah.
The Ravens tend to, and there's quite a few teams that do this, they seem to play at the level of their opponents.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, even though they had the capability to just go into that Colts game and just run the ball into the ground and absolutely tear away with that game, they were like, nope, we promised we're going to be a passing team. And that enables the game to stay close and unreasonably so. They absolutely should never have been in that situation. There was a pass interference at the end of the game or in overtime that prevented a first down. When we went for it on fourth down, Zay Flowers got dragged to the ground in the middle of his route, but that wasn't called, so I can't harp on it. But that game could have gone a little differently. But I'm still not impressed with the Ravens thus far, and I'm a Ravens fan, so I just got to be honest. They haven't sent the little tinglies up and down my spine yet.
Yeah, they haven't been throwing as well as everyone expected them to, and
especially with all the weapons, man.
Yeah, I really think it's play calling.
Freaking Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Odell, if he's healthy.
I think Odell's done. I think he's been done for like 3 years. I don't think Odell is like. I think they overpaid for Odell, and I think Bateman is better than Odell. And
a shell of his former self.
Yeah, I think Duvernay is better than Odell.
Everyone likes Duvernay. He's a talented young kid, and he's just coming up, so he has plenty of time left to develop.
Exactly. But I'm fine. I'm good talking on that division. I'm excited to see how it plays out. Any other thoughts before we move on to the NFC?
I think the Browns haven't won the division in my lifetime or ever.
I would believe it.
So that's an exciting story.
Did they win that 1 year with Baker?
No, I would have to go back and look, but I doubt.
13-3, I thought.
I mean, I could always. What year do you have any recollection of like when that might have been?
No, I can look it up, but they failed.
Year.
What year was that? 2020. Yeah, 2020.
2020, 2021.
11-5. 11-5.
Was that good enough to win the division?
I don't know. You're going to have to look it up for me.
Can't seem to find it.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to the NFC, and we'll get back to you on that stat. But the first NFC division we're going to talk about is the NFC Beast division, aka the Eagles leading the division again at 3-0. Because the second place 2-1 Cowboys lost to the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go.
You love to see it.
Love to see it. The Commanders are in third place at 2-1 as well. And then in fourth place, the Giants are 1-2. So, yeah, fun times. Any thoughts before I start ranting about how good the Eagles are?
The Eagles, while 3-0, have not been as impressive as they were last year. So we are still waiting for the other shoe to drop, which it will not. They will finish 17-0. The Giants will finish 3-14 at the bottom of the division.
It is so funny because last week you're like, the Cowboys are going to finish 17-0. They're so good, and then they lost.
But obviously I was doing that. That was a bit, right? Like I was joking.
Yeah,
I'm sure I would never say that seriously.
No, I think you said the Niners you thought would go 17-0. But
yeah, maybe
the Eagles. I personally I think last week their defense looked back. It looked great. Jalen Carter is currently like the best defensive tackle in the league rated. So
Which
as
we
a
expected.
rookie, we expected him to be really good, but like this is like beyond what you even expected. He's just been phenomenal, like almost like Aaron Donald levels. So I'm excited. I mean, we got his steal. I don't know how we were allowed to draft him. I mean, I'm incredibly excited. I think our offense, like you said, we're still figuring it out, but we looked a little better last week. I think we're still figuring it out. So it's like once we do figure it out, I think we'll be like unstoppable. Hopefully we do figure it out. That's the only hope. But I think we can get back there. I mean, we've seen it before. I think we can get back there. We have the new offensive coordinator. It's not like an overnight thing. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I don't know about you.
No, I am because you know that my
Your
household
second team is like
growing up was a secondary Eagles team, and then you're an Eagles fan, so that helped me even further adopt them into the other team that I care about. They still win the division, not even close. When you go 6-0 in the division, that sort of sets the
I think it's going to be
pace
close with the Cowboys, and I think, jokes aside, I do think the Cowboys are still like right now. I think they're a top 5 team in the NFC. I think top 4. I would say. I think they're probably top 3. I think the Lions are still a step below them, but yeah, that's my thoughts right now. I think they're a top 3 NFC team. So I think it will be close, even though I know you like to say the Eagles are going to go 6-0 in the division just so you can jinx them, and they will go 0-6.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that they're going to go 6-0 in the division.
I swear you just said that. Maybe I'm tripping, but
Go back. Well, what I will say to you is I worded it very carefully.
okay.
I believe I said I think they will win the division because when you go 6-0 in the division, that sort of sets the pace a little bit. That's not.
So you think they'll go 6-0 in the division?
No, listen. I know what I
will go 6-0 in the division.
I know what I mean it to sound like, and what I'm actually saying. I don't know how to put it into words.
You are funny. You are
I'm trying to
funny jinxer.
I'm trying to avoid saying the specific words that a certain team will have a certain record. I'm trying to beat around the bush.
It won't happen though. It never does. We're gonna split the Cowboys 1-1 because that always happens, and we'll see what else happens. I mean, I'm excited. I think our defense is elite, and I think our offense is getting there. So I think we're on the upward trajectory, and yeah, the Commanders don't look as good anymore. They had 2 mediocre wins, and then they lost last week. So I don't think they look great. The Giants do not look great either. I think the Giants are going to win all their easy matchups, and I think that's the only reason the Giants won last year and made the playoffs was because they had a super easy schedule, but they have a really hard schedule now. And I think we've seen it before. The Giants lose to every team that's better than them. There's like they never upset anyone. So, I think the Giants are going to be at the bottom of the division. I could see though that the Commanders flip with the Giants. I hate to say it to you because I know you have a bet on Commanders versus Giants for that division, but I could see the Commanders just not. I mean, they've only beat 2 bad teams, so I'm a little worried. I don't know.
Isn't it wild? Just 3 weeks ago, we were so hyped up on Howell and how the Commanders could be like a potential wild card team, or at least like a 10-7 team. And now, just 3 weeks in, we're already giving up and saying that they're going to potentially be bottom of the pack.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how things turn, but.
I
so bad.
I'm a neutral to that division as long as the Eagles either get first or compete for first. How the rest finishes. Yes, I have a super tiny bet on the Giants finishing last in the division, but that's not going to end my world if I'm wrong. So it'll be exciting to see who gets bottom of the dog pile there.
Yeah, I'm curious. I think the top is going to be interesting. I think the Cowboys will be close, which sucks to say as an Eagles fan, but I think it will be close. I'm good to move on though to the next NFC division if you are.
Ooh, before we move on, we got to move backwards because you said that we'll get back to you on that stat, and I have the answer.
Okay, what happened?
When the Browns finished 11-5, they finished third in the division.
Oh wow, okay.
they lost the tiebreaker for the Ravens for second, who were also 11-5, and the Steelers were 12-4.
Okay, interesting.
and the Browns did get a wild card spot.
Nice. So
even when they go 11-5, they can't win the division.
yeah, even when. Interesting. Well, I guess we can move on now.
Now we can.
NFC West. And
Let's go.
NFC West. The Niners are 3-0. The Seahawks are 2-1. The Rams are 1-2, and the Cardinals are 1-2. And
you know what?
What?
This division is the only one that I believe looks exactly the way we talked about it at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but I will say, I think the Rams are better than the Seahawks. And I think just strength of schedule is the only reason. Because the Rams, they have had some tough matchups. So, I think, they played the Niners and the Bengals last week. And the Bengals, we obviously knew the Bengals were going to come back. And their defense destroyed the Rams O-line. I think the Rams do look solid. I think they will beat the Seahawks in the division, but the Niners are the clear winner. I don't think there's any debate. I'm mainly excited to see if JSN actually does anything this season.
So far, no, right? I don't think he's done.
He's been doing pretty bad. He is my wide receiver 1 in my dynasty league, so that's fun. My dynasty rebuilding team. So I don't mind losing, but I'm curious to see. I'm hoping to see if he does show some flashes of greatness near the end of the year. That's what I'm hoping for. Also, the Rams. I want to see how Puka does when Cooper Kupp comes back. Hopefully Puka keeps it up. Cardinals actually look better than we thought they would, but they're still bad. So, I don't know what to say about them.
I just thought of a funny nickname when Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua take over the league when he comes back healthy.
Oh, what is it?
Puka.
Puka? Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. That was a very clever one.
The Seahawks are actually in a very unique position right now. They're one of, I believe, 4 teams that currently have a winning record, but have given up more points than they've scored.
Oh, okay. I did hear the funniest nickname for Puka Nacua after the first 2 weeks. It was
let's hear it.
Puka and a Cooper Kupp.
Puka and a Cooper. It rolls right off the tongue.
I know they're just saying that he's essentially Cooper Kupp.
They literally they're
Matthew Stafford thinks he squints his eyes and he sees Cooper Kupp.
Their stats and the way they play. Back when Cooper Kupp was taking the league by storm, he was doing the same thing where he was getting 10 catches per game.
Yeah. He did it last year too in 9 weeks. So
before he got hurt, right?
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens with Cooper Kupp. Also Puka Nacua. So
realistically, teams have a very hard time balancing having 2 top guys like that. The Eagles do it well. The Dolphins do it well. But very often when you have 2 guys that really get out there and put up numbers, someone's left disappointed each week. Not very many teams find that balance. So we'll see how it plays out, especially with Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, and other guys. So we'll see. I'll be excited to see if they can keep that high octane offense going.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I hope it turns more into Puka is the Robert Woods role from a couple years ago where he was still a solid fantasy play. But also there is a chance that Cooper Kupp comes back and he's not fully healthy. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously the Niners, I want to see how well the players do, but like I'm not super invested in them. So I don't really care that much about the rest of the division. I'm more just excited to see how good the Niners do, like as a record, like if they keep
you don't
it up.
care that Christian McCaffrey is on pace for 2,000 yards, even though he only averages 20 touches per game.
I don't.
And he's never won the rushing title. As good as he's been, because he always gets hurt, he's never finished the season as the league's leading rusher.
Look, every year there's like a running back, but like I don't even think 2,000 yards is like a lot to average at this point in the year. Like a lot of times you'll have like running backs averaging like they're on pace for like 2,500 yards like 5 weeks.
Yeah, like Justin Jefferson is on pace for 2,500 yards right now.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think with 17 games, it's like 120 yards equals 2,000 or like 117 or some whatever my quick maths are. So that's not a lot to need. 2,000 divided by 17. 117. I said 115. I was darn close.
I mean, it makes sense. But yeah, I'm curious what's gonna happen. I'll be watching the division. But I think it is the Niners for sure. The next division is the NFC North, who we actually have a little more info on now because the Lions-Packers played last night. So.
Yeah, and it wasn't even close.
It wasn't close. It may look a little closer on the scoreboard, but not even really.
But if you watch the game, the Packers never had a chance. Yeah.
And the Lions, they're 3-1. Packers 2-2. The Vikings 0-3, and the Bears 0-3. So
the Vikings being 0-3 is a slight shock. The Bears, not so much.
Yeah, and the Vikings, I mean. I think we knew there was going to be some regression. We didn't expect 3 one-possession game losses.
I did.
Yes.
Last year, I called them frauds relentlessly and repeatedly, and I am now bearing fruit.
Yeah, I didn't expect karma to hit this hard. I expected karma to hit, but not this hard. And by karma, I only mean the regression of winning every single one-score game. That said, though, I think they will bounce back.
100%.
The Packers, I called this preseason. I said the Packers are going to be better than people expect. I said put a bet on them winning the division. I don't think they're going to win the division. The Lions do look actually really good, but I do think the Packers will get second in this division, and I don't think it's hard anymore. I mean,
no, they're off to a good head start.
Yeah, they're off to a good head start. They look solid. They seem like a team that is, going to be good throughout the season. They're going to be solid. They're not going to run deep this year, but I think they could run deep in the future, I think they have a possible franchise quarterback. Possible, I say possible because it depends how well he grows and matures as a quarterback, but you must be excited as a Packers fan. You got to be excited.
If you are a Packers fan, you at least know that he doesn't totally suck.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not stuck with Zach Wilson, so you're at least happy about that.
Yeah.
All right. I do agree that the Lions go on to, based on what we've seen so far, the Lions ought to comfortably win that division.
Yeah. I would say so.
I'd say they win. I'd say at the end, I would say going into week 17, they already have it locked up. That last week won't mean anything.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense. I think Bears look like the worst team in the NFL right now. Vikings, I think, are just... I mean, I don't think they're looking great. I think they're looking mediocre. I don't think they're looking as bad as 0-3, but I think they'll pick up some wins and kind of be middle of the road. They might be a wild card. I don't think they'll be a wild card, but I think they'll be around that area. Any last thoughts on the NFC North?
The Bears are averaging 15 yards of offense per game.
Oh my goodness! Wait,
I mean, sorry, 15 points per game.
Okay. That I was like,
I saw the
yards?
word.
What?
I saw the word yards on my monitor, and it just slipped. It was like a little like a Freudian slip.
That's
sort
funny.
of thing.
Um,
No, they're averaging They've scored 47 points through 3 games, which is actually more than the Giants have scored.
okay.
So,
Yeah. Last division is the NFC South, and we have
which is
it's
interesting
close.
so far.
Yeah, interesting. At close to the top.
Yeah, it's right. It's right where we thought it would be. We thought the Falcons and Saints might be battling out for first. We knew the Panthers would be last, and the Buccaneers are just going to sort of exist. I don't expect them to continue winning games. Let's
And
put it
for
that
people
way.
listening at home, the Falcons are 2-1. At number 1, the Saints are 2-1 at number 2. The Buccaneers are 2-1 at 3, and the Panthers are 0-3. So,
What's the tiebreaker?
I think there's like a multitude. It goes like
Oh, because it's a 3-way tie. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like common opponents, et
division
cetera, et
record
cetera.
first, and then common opponents, and then strength of schedule, stuff like
that's
that.
right.
So it doesn't really matter the tiebreaker right now.
Correct.
More about what they look like.
Correct.
I think the Saints look like the best, and then the Falcons.
I hope the Saints look the best. I think I picked the Saints to win the division
I
at the
think that
beginning of
makes
the year.
sense. They look good. Their defense is like number 1 or 2 in the NFL. It's insane. The Buccaneers look a lot better on offense. So I'm curious. They obviously got destroyed last week by the Eagles, but I think they do look good the other 2 weeks. And then the Falcons are doing Falcons things. They're running the ball an insane amount, not throwing it at all.
Yeah,
It is. You have Kyle Pitts, right?
and he rode my bench already. I gave up on him after 2 weeks.
The targets are looking up. Kyle Pitts actually has the second most tight end targets on his own team. He was
So I thought you were going to get me with.
yeah,
Wait, who's the other? I don't even know who's the other tight end.
Jonnu Smith.
Oh my god, that
Has
old
more
Tennessee
targets
Titan
than
guy.
Kyle Pitts. Yep.
What do you mean?
Yep. More targets than Kyle Pitts. That's what I heard.
What?
So I'll fact check this during the break. But
As of the conclusion of week 3, Kyle Pitts does have more targets than Jonnu Smith. But going
was it
into
just
week
last week.
But going into week 3, that might have been true. Last week, Kyle Pitts had 9 targets and Jonnu Smith had 8, and they led the team. Let's see the previous
no, it's like
week.
very close though. Maybe I'm thinking snap
The
percentage?
previous week, Jonnu Smith had 6, Pitts had 5. So it must have been after 2 weeks is
No,
when
'cause that
you
doesn't-
saw
it's
that.
14-17. So let me see. It might be a snap percentage.
Let me look at week 1. Week 1, Kyle Pitts had 3. Jonnu Smith had none. So no, Jonnu Smith never had more targets. Not even in an individual game. So maybe it was like snap percentage or whatever. I don't know how to check that. You have like special websites and stuff.
No, I did not mean Johnny Smith. I meant Jonas.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
No, that's not even true either. Oh, maybe it's the
Somebody-
last 2 weeks. It's the last 2 weeks. He said 14 in the last 2 weeks.
So it was 5-4 and then 9-8. Kyle Pitts out targeted him every week. In week 1, Jonnu Smith had no targets. So
Kyle Pitts had 14 in the last 2 weeks, and Johnny Smith had 14 in the
12.
last 2 weeks.
they tied.
So they tied. So none of it is. I don't know where I got this stat. This person's a liar.
So whoever you saw like a tweet or whatever, it was all wrong.
Yep. Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers.
That is
gonna be
unacceptable.
I know, it's unacceptable. It's going to be interesting to see how those 3 teams do. And then I think the Panthers look like the clear worst team in the division. What do you think? Do you agree with that?
I'm worried that I was wrong about the Saints just because they just look a little questionable to me. When I'm watching them, I don't get excited like they look like a team that can win games.
I don't know.
As an example,
their defense
when-
is like number one defense, though.
They scared me last week, man. They were winning 17-0. They gave up 18 unanswered fourth quarter points to lose a game.
Yeah, that is true. But I
You
think
don't
that was
like
pretty unlucky.
You don't like to see that a team is capable of that, no matter the circumstances.
That was also after Dalton got hurt, so I think that's a big reason
Fair.
why the offense couldn't move.
We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. How they turn it around.
Yeah, we'll see how Jameis does this week. But yeah, I'm curious to see this division. This one's very close. None of these teams are real contenders, I think, but
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
they're all interesting teams for the division. Like contenders for the division, I think anyone but the Panthers could win. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on the NFC South. Any last words?
I just have a question. You said after Dalton got hurt. Did you mean Derek Carr?
I did mean Derek Carr. I said Dalton, but I meant Derek Carr.
If you want to fix it.
Dalton is on the Panthers, and I mistakenly said Dalton. And
If you want to fix it, leave it in.
No, I'm leaving it in. It's a funny
All right,
mistake.
cut out my question at least.
Nope, I'm leaving that in because now that will make me look. It'll make me look stupider, so it'll be funny. But good catch.
Interesting.
I did not. I did not mean to say Dalton. I meant to say Derek Carr after Derek Carr got hurt. But yeah, that's all the divisions. So I'm curious to see how it plays out. But now it's time for Ask Anissa, where I ask my wife Anissa a fantasy football question, and she knows nothing about football. So, Anissa,
Yeah.
which team will continue to impress? The Miami Dolphins, the Indianapolis Colts, or the Detroit Lions?
I feel like the way you said Detroit Lions was a little biased.
Oh, was it?
Let's go and see Detroit Lions.
Let's go. Go Lions. Now it's time for the book club, where we pick one guaranteed bet this week and put our fake money where our mouth is. So this is obviously referring to our fake money betting challenge, where we start with $100K and we either grind it up to $1 million or lose it all into nothing. And if you grind it up to $1 million, you win. And if you lose it, go to nothing, you lose. Scotty is down to $57K now. So that's getting low there, almost as low as I was. I think I was down to $37K. But then I built it back up, and I am now at $260K. So had some hits, had some good bets. I'm excited.
I need some help.
You need some help. And it's going to start with your first guaranteed bet. So what, Scotty, are you doing your 10K guaranteed bet that will hit this week?
Okay. I am going with the under for total points in the Denver Broncos Chicago Bears game, which is currently at 46.5.
Oh, okay.
And as we alluded to previously, the Broncos are only scoring about 21 points a game. I think it's 23 maybe.
Yeah.
And the Bears only 15. So as long as they stay pretty close to their average, under 46.5 seems like a pretty good lock to me. So I'm taking it. 10K will win me 9K.
Oh, nice. That's better odds than me.
Ooh,
so I like
let's hear
it. And my guaranteed 10K bet is on the Browns money line at minus 121.
Boo.
So
Boo.
I think this is a guaranteed bet. I think it's super safe, and it will only profit 8,300. But based on some of my past success, I think I just needed to hit a 10K bet. I just need a safer bet this week. I wasn't seeing anything that looked fantastic for touchdown or anything yet. I'll look more into detail on the touchdown props and stuff, but as of now, I really like the money line for the Browns. So yeah,
I'm changing my bet.
you're changing your bet.
I'm going to put $10K on the Commanders money line at plus 320. Not really.
Not really.
Not really. But why would you do that to me?
I just think the Browns.
You can't bet against the Ravens.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just. It's guaranteed to happen. It's inevitable. The Browns just look so good right now on defense. The Ravens offense is struggling.
I'm not talking to you till Monday.
Okay, and maybe even after Monday, we'll see. Maybe a little bit, but yeah, that's our guaranteed bets. And now it's time to talk about some matchups that I'm excited about and that you're excited about.
Let's do it.
So my first matchup that I'm excited about is Denver versus Chicago because I need Chicago to lose for my Matt Eberflus bet. If they lose to
Guaranteed.
Denver, I think it's looking very likely that Matt Eberflus is getting fired. And I hope
agree.
he's the first fired. Even if it's by like 10 minutes or something, I want him to be the first fired. So, yeah, Matt Eberflus fired bet. I need Chicago to lose to Denver, and I think it's going to happen. So,
For the record,
yeah.
since you just made a joke about it, if two coaches are fired on the same day, I'm not going to go investigating who tweeted about it first or who posted about it on ESPN first. If two coaches are fired on the same day and one of them is Eberflus, you win. I'm not nitpicking minutes or hours.
I'm going to look at the website and see who they paid out. That's what I'm going to look at because I want to see who they got paid out. Because I think if it is like a couple hours and like even if Eberflus is reported first, if the other coach got fired first and they just didn't report it right away, I think that will be I think it will be based on what Vegas pays out essentially.
That's up to you. I'm giving you an easy way out.
All right.
But if you want to do it that way, that's up to you, my friend.
I will. But yeah, that's the first game I'm excited to see just for my own personal reasons. Not for fantasy. But what is the first game you are excited to see?
As a Baker Mayfield hater, I am excited to watch the Buccaneers lose in New Orleans for multiple reasons. One, it'll give the Saints a win and help my futures bet that they win the division.
Nice.
And in turn, it will make the Buccaneers look bad, who have a winning record, giving up more points than they've scored. And it's time to balance the scales a little bit. Hopefully the Saints don't choke 2 weeks in a row. Buccaneers defense has looked all right. They've looked above average, but I think we're gonna put them in their place a little bit this week. I think they're gonna lose by 10, and I'm excited to see that pan out.
Nice. I like it. My next matchup that I'm excited about is the Dolphins versus the Bills.
I second that notion.
It's just going to be a crazy fantasy day, hopefully.
Oh, it absolutely should be wild.
Yeah, I think you want to start all your players in these games.
Every single one. Every single one.
A-Chan.
Yeah, I have him 2 places. He will be in the roster. It's a little unrealistic to expect similar results as last week just because he mostly came in after it was already like a 28 scored points. He wasn't like, if I remember correctly, he wasn't in there like from jump.
Yeah.
And this game might never get to that point, but once you see a guy put up 200 yards, you find a way to get him in the offense, right? Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
You just kind of force it to happen. So no, he's going in. James Cook on the other side of the ball, he'll be in. Diggs, Gabe Davis, Tyreek, everybody, get him in there.
Now I will say too that A-Chan did have a touchdown pretty early on. So
he did. But was it like a short one, right?
Like a receiving touchdown, I think, or maybe it was. Okay. I don't know if it counted as rushing. It might have been a lateral pass or something. But
correct.
Yeah, it was
I know
like
what you're talking about.
It was like it was pretty early on. So I think it was the second touchdown of the day for the Dolphins. So.
Oh really?
So
I could have sworn I saw something that said he didn't have any touches. I'm probably just wrong.
I know he didn't have as many
Oh.
touches until later, but I think he did have a touchdown early. I could be wrong.
I got you. Oh, he scored the second touchdown of the game.
Yep.
Achan rushed left to the Denver end zone for 8 yards touchdown.
Yeah, it was an impressive run too. So
Oh, actually, he scored the second and
right?
third touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember early in the day
Oh.
he had more points than Raheem Mostert, and then Raheem Mostert just like leapt above him. But then Achan just came back, destroyed. Yeah, so
Okay,
Yeah.
I see that here. He scored 2 out of the first 3.
so
scores.
he was
Okay.
in. I think that narrative
So,
was interesting.
I
I don't know
misread
why.
it. Maybe
I heard that.
I
as
probably
well.
just misread it.
No, you. I think I heard that as well. So I think you heard it correctly, but I don't know why people were saying that. I think maybe just touches, but like
maybe those 2 touchdowns were like his only touches, and he just capitalized on them.
yeah, I think that is possible. But I mean, he still was involved, so I'm surprised people were saying that.
Yeah. But either way, his usage will be questioned no more. You put up
Yes.
200 yards, they're finding a way to get you involved. Guaranteed.
Definitely, and you got him in our league. You put 75 fab on him, so good bet. You beat someone out by 6 fab. Impressive.
I almost did like 50. I almost did 55, and I was like, you know what? My bench looks like trash, and there's no running backs available. I gotta get this guy.
Well, it worked out because they bid 69 and you bid 75.
Yeah, I had to boost my bid.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, the next matchup I guess, did you want to talk about yours, or was that on your list too? Because I have 2 more matchups.
We probably have another one that's the same. Falcons Jaguars.
No, actually, that is not my.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I was excited to see Bijan flop 2 weeks in a row. As
You're a Bijan.
I'm not a Bijan hater. I was literally about to say it before you. Listen, I am a my brother hater.
Yep, I know, but
And if he is strong on the Bijan bandwagon, that means I have to be the person pulling that wagon in the other direction.
well, I'm
at
throwing
all
the Bijan
costs.
bandwagon too, so I'm going to be against you on this one. He looks so good. He
does look-
good.
He looks up. Here's what I'll hope then. I'll hope that the Jaguar. No, I'll hope that the Jaguars jump off to an early lead, and then the game flow doesn't allow Bijan to ever get going.
Got you. Okay. Well, I hope you're wrong, and I hope he gets points, and I hope he does well. My third game that I'm excited for is the LA Rams versus the Indianapolis Colts. And I am excited. Richardson's back. I think the
Yes.
Rams are also good. I think there's going to be a lot of fantasy points. Puka Nakua, I think he's gonna be back doing great. He had a little bit of a down week, only 12 points. I mean, come on, 12 points.
From a wide receiver that you drafted with your last pick in the draft.
Yep.
12 points is
Or not
something
at
to be
all.
excited about, brother.
I mean, come on, 12 points. That's so much less. But
In
seriously,
our league, you literally drafted him with your last pick.
I did, and our league is so deep too. Like he was like the 22nd pick or 23rd pick. But that said, I'm excited for him. I think the Rams players will all do good. I think Kyron Williams will have a bounce back week. Even Zach Moss, I think, will have a solid week. I mean, he's been really good. He's been doing way too good. Pretty crazy how good he's done. And yeah, I think Anthony Richardson will do amazing again. So I'm excited. Hopefully he stays healthy and wins you your bet, and also just good for fantasy. Yeah,
We'll see.
I
I'm
like
I'm
Anthony
excited to
Richardson.
see how it pans out. Now, I will say, and I'm currently fact checking it right now, but the Rams are giving up an average of like 13 points, fantasy points, to opposing quarterbacks currently.
Yeah.
Let
But I personally think that the rushing upside will counteract that. And I don't think it will matter. I think he'll get a rushing touchdown. I think he'll get rushing yards. So I'm rooting for Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to have a great day. I mean, he's had 2 good games, and one of them he only played 6 minutes in. So, yeah. I'm a believer. I don't know what I would even call it. Richardson lever.
I think we shouldn't call it anything.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Well,
I don't know what you just. I don't know what you just tried to do, but we're gonna ignore that.
yeah, we can cut that out.
Here you go. Through 3 weeks, fantasy quarterbacks have scored a total of 33 points. So they're averaging 11 points. And that was Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, and Geno Smith. So no active rushers, where Trent Richardson does bring that extra dynamic. So that will, like you said, change the formula a little bit.
I hope that it is not Trent Richardson who is running, but instead Anthony Richardson.
Did I say Trent Richardson? And earlier you said Andy Dalton when you meant to say Derek Carr. What is going on?
Yeah. Any last matchups you want to talk about? I think we are getting a little tired.
Let me see. Chiefs Jets doesn't excite me as unlikely as it is. I would love to see the Patriots beat the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Me too. I would love to see that.
Riding a little negative momentum swing. The Cowboys might come in a little down on their luck, getting booed by the home fans for their loss last week. Might set the tone a little bit. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing else like overly stands out. Someone's O has got to go. Vikings play the Panthers. Those 0-3 teams.
Yeah.
We had to know who's going to win that one.
Yeah, we do.
Somebody tweeted about the Bears Broncos game, and they said, "Can we flex this game to Wednesday at like 3 a.m? Nobody wants to watch this."
Yeah, can we swap this with the Jaguars 6 a.m. game?
The London game. Yeah. Oh, did you hear about the Toy Story thing where the game's going to be like you can watch a certain broadcast and the game is animated?
Yeah. It looks like some like backyard football animation. Like,
right. Now it'll have to be on a delay, right? They're not going to be able to do that.
I mean, yeah, slight delay. I think they'll be able to they probably have preset animations or like AI generated animations for like one player throwing to a certain player on a certain side of the field or something. So it's probably going to be like Yahoo Stat Tracker, where it just like it updates and shows something live.
The way they advertise it is it's going to look like you're actually watching the game, but the players just look like claymation.
I think it's. Look, I don't think it's going to be that good. I think
you think they're overselling it a little bit.
Yes, I think it's going to look like backyard football animation, and it's going to be like preset animations that maybe are AI generated, and they are just going to be like very cheap. Like, oh, the player drops back, and he throws it to this player, and this player catches it.
And it's just like okay.
It's like
you literally think it'll just be like when you pull up your sports app and it shows the little lines going down the field, and there'll be like a little cut scene.
Yeah, like a cut scene that's I think if
for a rush and for a pass, field goal.
Ridley catches a pass on the same side of the field, it's going to have the exact same animation. I think.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think they would get away with that.
I don't know. I think it's going to be very cheap. I don't think it will be as cool as. I'm definitely going to take a look.
Can I bet it? Can I bet against you on that?
In our fake money challenge, you want to bet $5,000
Can I bet $5,000 that it is actually going to be just like watching the game except animated?
Yeah, I'll bet $5,000 against that. I don't know if you want to take that bet right now, but I will do it.
Yeah, screw it. I have high hopes. The way they were advertising it, I don't listen. There'd have to be like a multiple minute delay, like a 5-minute delay from like the actual game. But I'm giving them credit for how much money they have that it's possible.
I think it's going to be very disappointing, and we may have to debate this on the podcast next week on whether it'll
give us something to talk about.
Yeah, whether it was bad or not. But yeah, my last game that I'm excited about is the Seahawks versus the Giants. I'm excited.
I can't get out of bed for that one.
I'm excited because I think it's going to be interesting for fantasy. I have Daniel Jones. I'm excited. I think it'll be an interesting primetime game. I want to see what happens. I want to see if Seattle bounces back, if they're gonna do well against a team that's look. If they beat the Giants, you know they're a good team because the Giants only lose to good teams and they only beat bad teams. So I think that's what you're really looking for. If the Giants win, then you know the Seahawks are bad. So
Checks out.
math checks out. But yeah, that's all the matchups I'm excited for. Anything else you wanted to say before we end the episode, or any surprise segments?
No, I think we just had a surprise segment with the little rogue bet about the animation game.
I think we did have, yeah, that was a surprise segment. Yeah,
I think I'm just giving them credit for their advertisements. The way they're selling it is that it's like you're watching the game, but it's just animated.
I think it's going to be like some shoddy animation, like pre-made animations.
I'm just a glass half full kind of guy. I believe the ad that pretty much says it's like watching the game. I just kind of believe, because I think that would actually be cool. I think that would actually be a little fun. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious. What it's going to look like. I want to see people roasting it on Twitter. That's what I'm looking forward to, because I think it's going to be roastable. I don't think it's.
Do you want Elon Musk to come after you?
No,
it's called X.
Elon Tusk. Sorry, I don't.
Oh, I saw the tweet that the Tesla logo is just supposed to be a cat nose.
Oh, really?
And then they put a picture of a cat next to it, and it actually looks exactly like a cat's nose.
I never know.
And then Elon Musk replied to the tweet. He's like, "Yep."
What a weirdo. Anyway, that guy's weird, but this opinion is not weird. Because it's time for your strong opinion of the day.
I thought that was your strong opinion. Elon Musk is weird. I was like, that's not that's not that strong.
That is my new strong opinion of the day. That Elon Musk is a really weirdo. No.
Let's hear your real one.
My real strong opinion of the day is that PPR scoring is the best scoring format.
Thank you for listening to the NFL Saturday podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and TikTok at NFL Saturday.